Welcome to the Shannon Atchison Show, real business talk for real life. I'm Shannon, creative business coach, digital product lover, and your strategy sidekick. I've built a business that fits my life, and now I help other women do the same. No hustle, no fluff, just smart, honest conversations about building a business that works for you. Let's dive in. Hello and welcome back to the show. I am so excited today to have Lauren here from Restored316. Lauren, thank you so much for coming on the show with me today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, I'm so excited we could finally do this. We had some scheduling things and I'm so excited to just chat with you about this.
Yeah, same.
So for anybody who doesn't know you, I'm just going to have you, I love it when my guests sort of introduce themselves because I love to hear how they introduce themselves outside of like, I have everybody send me a bio, like an official bio, but I love to hear too how the guests do it. So tell us a bit about yourself, like what do you do now, Restored316, all of that.
Got it. Okay, so as you said, I'm Lauren, CEO of Restored316, and our primary goal is themes. That's what we're kind of known for, WordPress themes for bloggers and small business owners, but we also have a whole bunch of other products. Our goal is just to help women be profitable online and show up beautifully. So
I love that. I have used your themes for my website for years, many different kinds, back when it was Genesis, now it's Cadence. So I've used your themes for a long, long time. I love them so much. So that's my personal gush over like what you do. I love it. I love it. So
I appreciate that. It's been 17 years this year.
That's crazy.
So it's been a minute.
Yeah, like I've been blogging for 15 years. So
wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
That's very cool. I love that so much. Okay, so before you did the themes, you were doing other stuff. So like, can you tell us just a little bit of how you first started designing websites and like how Restored316 started?
Kind of came to be. So when my daughter, who's 18 now, was about 6 months old, I was just desperate to make an income from home, and I was just going to do whatever it took. And I remembered taking an HTML class in high school, and like messing with the code and all that stuff was just kind of fun to me. And then I came across blogs back then when Blogger was like super big, and they were designed with scrapbooking kits, like digital scrapbooking kits back in the day when that was like a thing.
Yes.
And I was like, wait a second, I think I can do that. Because I was already doing like digital scrapbooking, and then like I was thinking, well, I can combine it with kind of some of the stuff that I learned in school. And so, you know, this was the days before Facebook and all that, which it really ages me, I feel like. But
same.
I know. But yeah, I mean, there was YouTube. So I YouTubed and Googled everything, like, and just literally taught myself like everything I needed to know. But I didn't say no to anybody. Like I was just like, can I do your blog for free? Like all you have to do back then was do a blog post about me and or comment on my blog or whatever. However we like connected back then. And so I did it for free for a little while just to like figure it out and learn it. And then I started charging, and like my first paid blog was like $25 or something. And I just like slowly built up from there. But I just said yes to everything and I figured it out.
Like super good business advice in there for people starting out, right? Like do it for free,
you just
say
gotta
yes to
like
everything.
You just gotta like put one foot in front of the other and just take action for sure.
And that I know that in the blogging world, like we always get asked like, can you do this sponsored thing or share this thing for free? And people are like, no, I'm not doing that. Like I need to make money. It's like, no, but if you're just starting, sometimes you have to you need to have some experience somewhere. That's why there's internships for like regular jobs, right? Like you do have to do some things for free when you're starting out to get the experience.
Absolutely.
For sure. Okay. So do you remember sort of the moment, or like, was there a moment where you realized, okay, I don't want to do custom individual websites for people anymore. I want to do it a different way.
Yeah, totally. So I was actually pregnant with my son.
Okay.
And that was like, my kids are almost 5 years apart. So I guess it was about 4 years, like after, we began, I was just like, I need to do something different. I hated being tied to my computer like constantly. And I knew I was about to have a newborn and a 4 or 5 year old. And like, I needed to not be like in front of my computer every second of every day. And so I had, at the time, I was started with Genesis. And so one of the people from Genesis reached out and was like, hey, would you be interested in doing themes for us? And so it was a great like segue into that market. And so that's kind of where I started. I also did a couple of collaborations with some local photographers and like provided websites for their clients and like things like that. So, so that was kind of my like very first like intro into like, oh, I can design something one time and like make money from it over and over again without, coming back every day to those little tedious customizations, so yeah, so that's kind of how it started. And then it took probably 1 to 2 years to like fully make that transition from like not really doing a whole lot of custom stuff to like solely focused on themes.
Yeah, yeah. So, I love that, the do it once and then sell it over and over and over
Yeah.
again, right? Like that is like so huge, especially, well, for any business, but online business especially, I think.
Yeah,
What was the biggest challenge going from like the custom one-on-one work to the scalable templates? Like, was it tech? Was it like mindset? Was it just getting things done? Like, what was sort of the biggest challenge in switching from one to the other?
gosh.
Or was it easy? Maybe it wasn't a challenge.
Yeah, I think the only challenge there was the consistency in income, because you're having to shift from like, okay, all my income's here on this like custom side, and now I need to build up this theme side to be able to replace that income. And so I think that was the only like challenge that I had, but it was sort of a natural like I was all in once. I literally remember being at the grocery store, pushing my daughter in the cart, and like my phone did, the cha-ching thing for PayPal. And I was like, oh my gosh, like I'm literally shopping with my daughter at the store and I'm making money. That's really cool.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That's awesome. I love that. Those are the best. Those are the best, right? You're doing something else, you've already done the work. That's so awesome.
Yeah, for sure.
So I guess that was like my next question then, was sort of like, was there a moment, yep, this is working? So I guess that was that moment, right? You're
Yeah,
like, yes,
for sure.
yes, it is. Like that's.
Yeah, I mean, it took a little while. I'm not going to sugarcoat that. It's like, I think we all as business owners, especially in the like digital space, we feel like, it's just us behind our computer and we're like putting in all this work and all this effort, and like, will it really pay off? There's a lot of question marks going on in our heads. And so when you get even just that one sale, you're like, oh, okay, like this is actually working. Like even on a like small level, it gives you a little bit of that momentum forward,
Yeah, and the validation that like it's working, right? Like especially I think now too, like there's so many we see so many ads of people going, I made XYZ gazillion dollars in like 3 days, and you're like, but I'm not doing like that's not going that fast for me, right? So which totally okay, because it doesn't usually go that fast, truthfully.
No.
That's an exception.
There is no get rich quick scheme.
No. Even the idea of passive income, right? Like it's not, there is no 100%, like it's not 100% passive. You have to do the work. You have to promote it.
Yeah. You still have customer service. You still have emails to answer, like definitely. Yeah. Nothing is 100% passive.
Yeah. But there's definitely the like work smarter part of it, right? Of the
totally. Yeah.
Yeah. So now, like you're serving so many, obviously bloggers, because that's the thing, but like you're serving so many different kinds of business owners now. Did that shift, like, because I know like as the templates come out, I'm like, oh, this one's for like authors and this one's for like did that shift your design process or how you sort of approached any of your branding or promotions?
Yeah, so in the beginning, it's funny, my team and I kind of chuckle about this now, because in the beginning, like my goal with Restored316 was just to like help the moms that were in my shoes, right? Like the young moms with the baby on their hip and like just need to make money from home. Like that was just kind of in my mind. But over the years, as we've done surveys and things to like truly figure out who our audience is, like 90% of them are bloggers, And so, but I also want to reach more people. I mean, the themes that we do can not just be for bloggers. They can be for photographers and authors and things like that you said. So every time I sit down to do a new design, I go through like a research phase and just really try to study the industry and like what's missing in the market and try to fill the gaps. Okay. And so, I mean, at this point, we're kind of filling, the role in the market with, different genres, but we still are very heavily blogger focused.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. So sort of research phase, like what does that sort of look like? Like what are you're looking for the holes,
Yep.
but because you already have so many themes, like, so how do you approach this? Just, I was
I
thinking
know.
about this today as I was driving somewhere. I'm like, wait, but she has so many already. Like, how does she keep coming up? And each one's different and new, and it looks different, and it has different functions. And
Yeah. Okay, so let's just take our most recent theme as just an example. So our most recent theme is called Crafted, and it's really geared towards the craft blogger. And we have another theme called Create, and so they can get a little confused, right? So Create was really created to geared towards like the multifaceted blogger who has like the recipes and the crafts and the DIY projects and the home decor, like whatever. It's just kind of the all in one thing. Crafted was really geared toward, okay, well, what does a craft blogger need? They're sharing tutorials, they're sharing how-tos, they've got, sublimation, they've got like all the different machines, they've got all these things. And so part of that research is going to like as many bloggers, craft blogger websites that I can, and just figure out, okay, well, here's where they're succeeding and here's where I feel like they're failing. And a lot of times I find a lot that are failing, and obviously that I'm trying to like, fill that market, but and then trying to organize the content within that theme, right? Which I think is the big thing. It isn't just the design. It's like, okay, well, where would this go on their website, right? Whether it's the different machines or the type of crafts that they're doing or the age group or whatever, right? X, Y, and Z. So yeah, it's just studying all of that and like really putting all of that in a theme. And the beauty of that is when you buy a theme, it's not only the theme, it's already organized for you. So all you have to do is fill in the blanks, so you don't have to like think, well, where am I going to put this content? It's all built out for you already. So it is, we call it kind of a business in a box. It really is. It's more than just a theme. It's like a little business in a box ready for you to.
It's so true, because I remember early on, like having to go in and organize all that and build the pages and build like, I mean, you got the basic like category page, which was just ugly as
basic. Yeah, right? Exactly.
Like, to go and sort it all and put it all together and like pillar pages even, or like whatever, like it's so true. So you have themes, but then you release block collections too, right? So like I have a theme like that. I mean, I have a couple, but I have like one of your themes, but then I've bought like block collections on top of that. Like, how did you figure out like that was going to be a good sort of, I don't know, revenue stream for you, but a good solution for other bloggers who don't want to buy a whole new theme too?
Yeah. So our customers were asking, they're like, I love this, in this theme, but I really have this, like, how can I mix and match? So it really came out of that. And then also communicating with Cadence about, well, how do we make this work? So that's how block collections kind of came to be, which is so fun that you can, have one theme and it has these colors and these fonts and header and footer, but then you can just very quickly just replace everything in the middle, So they've been a huge blessing for our business, and a huge blessing for many bloggers.
Yeah, because I love them. Like I have very basic like HTML, like because I went to school a long time ago and did HTML like way back, and then started my WordPress blog where you could still easily access the HTML in every page and every post. And I'd edit it if I needed to, but like the block collections have made it so much faster for me. Like I have a graphic design background too, but like 30 years ago, right? So the block collections have made it like I can customize everything, but so much easier, like so much easier than it was when I started. So me loving what you do.
Yeah, for sure. And WordPress just as a whole, like, has just come so far. I mean, that was the classic editor, and that was just like, in order to start a blog on WordPress, you needed to be like a code wizard, and that's just not the case anymore.
No.
Thank goodness. Yeah.
It's so much easier. It's so much easier. Yeah. So you have other products and things too, right? Like you have some courses, you have some other digital products. Like, tell me how those came about.
Yeah. So I've always been really big about bloggers not having all their eggs in the Google basket, is what I call it. And I share that a lot in our newsletters that we share weekly. But so I just saw this. What's that?
Last week where you said it was like a revenue stream, like a stream, not an actual business model.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, like you should
Mhm.
have many, many different revenue streams, especially as a blogger just starting out.
Yes.
I think too many bloggers just put all their eggs in that basket and just focus solely on SEO and not like other revenues. So, anyways, it really came out of that need of seeing bloggers like struggle with like ad revenue or seeing their revenue plummet, unexpectedly, which we're seeing a lot of
Yep.
nowadays.
Yep.
And so I've created two courses. I have one all around email marketing because I'm a really big believer in building connection and community around your business, and not solely focused on social media because, we all have a
Yep.
love-hate relationship with it.
Yeah.
I'm one of them. And so, I mean, it has its place. It's a great marketing tool, but I don't like to have all of my eggs in that basket, right? So,
Yeah.
so I think email marketing is a huge thing. And then we also have a new course that we did last year, end of last year, about creating and selling digital products. And that just helps not only in like actually creating and selling digital products, but if you want to learn some design stuff and you want to have better lead magnets and really build up your email marketing, it kind of goes along with that as well. So it covers the design, tech, and strategy behind all of that. And then we also have lunch and learns, which are like more bite-sized workshops, not like a full-on like expensive course. And so it has a very specific goal of like, okay, how do I do this and accomplish this? And those have been really successful. I think one thing I've learned over the last couple of years is that I really enjoy teaching. Especially the tech stuff, because I mean, I see it. We see the emails and the support tickets all the time of like, I don't know how to do something kind of basic, and it just makes me realize that, people need this type of education and it's kind of missing in the market. So yeah, that's kind of where our lunch and learns came. And then we have Canva graphics as well that just sort of go along with our theme. So yeah, that's our whole
No,
product
that's
suite for you.
good. It's sort of like things have sort of grown from like you got known for one thing and then you took a not a pivot but like a little pivot to add something else, right? Like little bits.
Yeah.
And I think there's a couple of things like I 100% agree that you need to have more revenue streams than just ads. Like I have always had digital products or I've always had courses or brand sponsorships way back when and like all of the things. But I think people confuse that like multiple revenue streams with having multiple focuses almost, right? Like you need to have whatever your niche is, no matter how big or small that is, you need to have like in my opinion, you can tell me if you agree or not, but like you need to have a niche, you need to be known for or get known for something
Yeah.
and not be like, I'm going to talk about, well, let's say, I'm going to talk about building websites and, growing my own garden and, like you need to have a niche, but you need to have multiple income streams in that niche. Is that kind of what you're saying?
No, totally. I mean, I'm not personally against the websites that are multifaceted.
No,
Like,
yeah.
but yeah. I mean, it's that overall umbrella, right? Of like, okay, so and so does this.
Yeah.
Right. Like one person that comes to mind as we're chatting is Courtney at Pizzazzery. Like she's known, right, for, like beautiful decor and parties, but she shares recipes and all that. She's very multifaceted, but she's very known for her decor ability. So, so yeah, definitely. I agree.
Yeah. No, I think because there are people who do like multiple, I mean, even if you talk about mine, like my other business, like Homemade Lovely there's decor and organizing and, cleaning and there were recipes, they're sort of buried at the moment, but like there are different things, but it's all under Homemade Lovely, like that, it fits that.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely different revenue streams, like for sure makes a huge difference. As a buffer, I mean, things change all the time, like this whole all of Google lately and all of like that's nobody particularly saw it coming, but it has changed a lot of things for a lot of people, right?
Yeah, definitely.
So sort of what does your team or workflow, like your week, sort of look like now that, well, first of all, that Restored316, I don't know why I have trouble with that today.
We do too.
Oh my gosh, has grown, but also now that you have like all the things that you have, like what does your sort of week look like? How, like you have a team to help you, obviously, with different things.
So we have two people on our team. So Lonnie, who most people are very familiar with, she handles all of our support tickets. She's amazing. And she's been with us for I don't even know. I think it's like 8 or 9 years now.
Okay.
And then we have Jill, who does a lot of our copywriting. So she helps with sales pages and newsletters and things like that. But generally our week is, I'm still doing a lot of the heavy lifting, right? I'm doing all the design work or the complicated tech that maybe something Lonnie can't figure out
Right.
on support tickets and things like that. And then, and just making sure everything's scheduled and like all that kind of stuff, I'm definitely not, how do I say this like kindly, I guess, like I'm not of the like CEO mindset of like only working a couple days a week. Like I actually really enjoy my work, so I like to be in the office and working and just kind of having my hands on things.
Yeah.
Could I let go of some of that stuff? Sure. But yeah, so I am very hands-on in the office.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. So having like a giant team and passing everything off is not something that like
that's never really been one of my goals.
Yeah.
I like to have my hands in it. I love the design process. In fact, one of our goals this year is just to take kind of what we have and grow it, and one of my things and one of my strong suits is creating new things. And so it's been like a really, because I love the creative process of, designing themes, designing graphics, whatever.
Yeah.
And so it's been really hard not to just be like new. Like, so yeah, that's just where I'm strongest for sure.
Yeah. No, I think that speaks to like how entrepreneurs are. We kind of were like all these ideas, right? And we're like, oh, I'm going to work on this one, and then I'm going to work on this one, and I'm going to work, and it's like, wait, let's back up.
Yes.
Let's make the most of what we have before we charge forward, right? Like,
yes.
That's personally something I struggle with too, to go back and go, okay, how can this thing that's doing well, how can I make it better? How can I?
Yeah.
I totally
exactly. Yeah, it's hard.
I think that speaks, the other part of that is too, like you said, you have like 2 people on your team and yourself. And I think that's something else that like, I want to make sure that like my listeners understand too, is you need to know, like, there's nothing wrong with either direction, right? Like having a small team or just being a solopreneur or having a big team, but you need to know what you want and how you work best and what your goals are, and not go, well, that person's doing that and that person's doing that, right? Like,
100%. I actually had that reality check here recently because we were having a team meeting, and I'm part of a course that I signed up for, and like there's a lot of talk about that CEO mindset, right? Of, well, you got to have the CEO mindset and work 2 days a week and be gone for 6 months out of the year. I'm just like, and one of my team members asked me like, well, Lauren, like, what is it that you want? Like, what is the life that you want to live? Like, without feeling guilty, without the pressure of like what a CEO is supposed to look like what is it that you want? And I had to say like, well, I want to be here. Like, I don't want to just work 2 days a week, like I want to actually be in the office, and I want my hands in the creative process of things, and writing content and scheduling content. Like, I enjoy that part of it, and that's okay. I don't need to feel guilty about that.
Yeah. I really love that, because I feel like there's a lot of this mindset of no, like, here, have this lifestyle of only working, like you said, 2 days a week, whatever. And it's like, wait, but that's not what I want. Or, I feel like there was this era where bloggers were like, let's get bigger, hire more people, have an office, like whatever. And for a little while I was like, oh, that's what I want. And then I thought about it and I'm like, no, I really don't. That's really not what I want to have. Like, a couple key people, yes. Yeah, it's so good to know. So so you said that was part of a course that you did. Is that something you sort of realized consciously before, or?
I mean, I think I've always known that, but I mean, just to like be able to say it out in the open of like, well, I don't want to live like that. Like, the main goal with starting the company in the first place was to provide an income for my family, but also to be here for my kids and my family when they need me. So like, if, I get a call and I need to go pick up a kid or whatever, like I can do that. I have that flexibility, and that's good for me. So yeah, it was just, being able to just voice it and just be like, okay, wait, I've never really truly thought about this, like that big picture. But it's okay for that to still be my desire.
Yeah. And it feels really good, I think, to realize that too, right? Because then you're like, okay, this is the right place. I'm in the right place. I'm doing the right thing.
Yeah.
And then sort of, for me, that was everything else gets sort of filtered through that a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
And another point of this
No.
conversation is I always wanted to feel connected to my customers. I feel like um, for us, like we're very much a brand that's very supportive of our community and all that. That's
Sure.
really what we're known for.
Yeah.
And so I feel like that I would lose touch of that a little bit if I were to like step back and be like, no,
It's true.
I'm only gonna be here a couple of days a week.
Yes.
We would lose that a little bit. And I want our customers to still feel like we're holding their hand through this tech process. That's what we're here for.
Yeah, which I think when you're talking about like tech and bloggers who are just starting, or even, I mean, like I said, I've been doing this for 15 years, but still, I mean, I'm like, hey guys, I
Yeah.
need help with something, or I have a question or whatever, and I think that's like a super key important thing, especially the tech stuff for people who haven't been doing it that long.
Yeah.
'Cause I don't want to say it's complicated and hard, but there's a lot to it. Let's say it that way. There's a lot to it, right? There's a lot
There
going
is.
on behind what you see on a blog and a website.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And then you throw in all the other things that bloggers have to do, right?
Yeah.
Like the SEO and the social media and like everything.
Yeah.
It's all very overwhelming. So
Yeah.
we want to take that one thing that's very
Hmm.
complicated for most people like off their plate and be able
Yeah.
to help.
Yeah. And I think you guys do that really, really well, at least in my experience with you.
Yes, thank you. That's the goal.
Yeah. So we talked a little bit about like, how you do research before you do a new theme, but how do you sort of keep things fresh and aligned with your customers, especially as like trends and things like SEO, but other trends and things, and platforms change, right? Like we talked about, it's been a few years now since Genesis was basically replaced by Cadence, but like, how do you keep going with things like that when things are always like so much is changing, plugins are changing, the way that we share things are changing, like all of that? How do you keep up
Uh,
with
Gosh, I feel like that's such a loaded question and a difficult one to answer. But like,
Yeah.
I think for us, it's just always been like we're listening to our customers and what their pain points and frustrations are, and then figuring out how we can solve that. So in all of that, it's created all of our pivots, right? So let's take the Genesis Cadence example. Like so many of our customers were seeing, that okay, now we have Gutenberg because Gutenberg did come out with Genesis.
Right.
And we can like now like manipulate some things a little bit easier than like touching code. And so then that need for more customization became very obvious and evident. And so then it was, okay, well, we've got to find a solution to this. And so it was, it actually took me about 9 months or so to find like a good solution. We first thought Show It was a good solution until we were like, no, it's not. Show It's great.
Oh
But
yeah.
Show It's not. I don't think that Show It is the great thing for bloggers, and so it wasn't super well received. And so we're like, okay, back to the drawing board. But yeah, I mean, it really is about okay, listening to what the pain points of our customers are, and like how can we solve that. And so, like I was saying earlier with our courses, we are seeing with our bloggers that they're frustrated, they're losing ad revenue, they don't know how to make money, they're doing all this work and nothing is working. Like how do they need to pivot, right? And so that's where our courses and stuff have come in. But yeah, I mean, you just gotta take it and find the solution for it. Literally just on and on.
Yeah, I feel like I was really slow to embrace. Like I kept the classic editor plugin for a long time.
Oh yeah.
For blog posts, I was cool with the blocks and all of that, and like for pages, right? Because it meant I could let go of any of my page builders that I had, like lead pages or whatever, right? I didn't have to have all my sales pages external. But I felt like it took me a while to be like, no, I'm okay with this for blog posts. Like I wanted the classic editor.
I know. I still see the classic editor all the time and fraud on sites. Yeah. And Gutenberg came out in 2019, I believe.
Oh my gosh, really?
Yeah. Yeah. So it's been 6 years, guys. It's time to embrace it. But yeah, I mean, when it comes to technology in general, though, I think we can all agree that it takes some people a little bit more time to embrace it because it's changed. It's just not something we're used to or comfortable with, and we have to stop long enough to learn it, which is always frustrating.
With all those other things on your plate, like you said, right? Like SEO and social media and email and all the things, like to change something that you've gotten efficient and proficient at, to change it to something else. It can be overwhelming, I guess, initially, but It is so much easier now.
It is. Once
Right?
you
Like,
embrace it, yeah.
yeah, once you embrace it, for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me see. So you've built, like we talked about, such a strong community around Restored 316. What is something, is there something that you've learned about sort of your people that you didn't expect, like over time?
Oh goodness. That they weren't exactly who I thought they were in the beginning. I
Okay.
will say that. We had talked about that. So, I
Yeah.
mean, I thought it was like the young mom with like
Yes.
young kids and all of that. And that's really not our primary market. We were mainly serving like 40s, 50s, 60s.
Uh-huh.
We're serving this like middle age group, and like most of their kids are grown or almost grown, and they're like searching for purpose, and they want
Yeah.
to create something online, which is really awesome. Like I love that we just happened to land in that space,
Yeah. Yeah.
despite like what I thought we were doing.
Yeah.
But I love that so much. But also like, despite that age group, and you throw them into tech, I think a lot of women in that group have a lot of trouble with tech, but they do it. And
Right.
I mean, our big goal too, I mean, obviously we handhold through the tech a lot, but is we want to equip you with the knowledge to be able to do it on your own. So we've got lots of tutorials and all that stuff to kind of help you through. And it surprises me that so many women like do it 100% on their own, and they've got it all figured out without
Oh my
submitting a
gosh.
support ticket. So that's like makes my heart happy.
I love that. I
Yeah.
love that. And I think that speaks a bit to like the determination of women like in that age group, which I am firmly in that age group.
Yeah.
I mean, I started 15 years ago, so I wasn't, but am now. But
Yeah.
and also it speaks to like your tutorials and your how-tos, like for installing the theme and how to do the things and change the colors and change the fonts. Like they're very well written, and so it's easy to go and you've systematized that. I feel like you've got it down for like each different theme and each different sort of collection or whatever it is.
Yeah.
So I think that's really awesome for your customers, and a really key thing for those of us in business to realize, okay, if you put those things in place, it's going to be so much easier to point people to that for those kind of things than to have to like you said, like handhold them through that part if you've got
Yeah.
it sort of
Yeah, totally. Yeah, just
yeah.
from our experience, like anytime, like literally even to this day, if we get a ticket that is like a repeat question, it's not like a one-off issue that we're trying to solve. Like I record a video, or Lonnie will write up a quick tutorial, and we put it in the doc site, because if one person has the question, there are probably many more that have the same question and they're just not asking it.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true. That's I had an SEO guy look at my website, and he's like, you need more frequently asked questions, like in your blog posts and on your website in general. And I'm like, that really makes sense, because then you can just point people to that. So if people have
Yeah.
a question, that
Yeah.
absolutely makes sense. Okay, so you said you love, being in the business and working on the design and all of those things. So have you managed to always show up consistently without burning out, or is it something you sort of had to learn over time? Because I know a lot, I feel like for a lot of us, like the burning out thing online is fairly common, right? Because there is a lot to it, like we said. And so
Yeah.
some of us, it takes a while to learn that. So like, is that something you learned over time, or you sort of had a good groove always?
Not really. Like in the beginning, I really mixed my work with life, and there was just, it was just messy. Like it's just always kind of like that when you're first starting. You're like trying to fit it in like wherever you can, right? So for the first definitely 5 years or so of business, it was really difficult. But I feel like, as my kids have grown and gotten older, and the needs of them have changed, it's really forced me to create balance, and to really just have like dedicated work time and not let it overflow and like all that stuff. And having a dedicated office, like four walls, like it's in here and it's not out there,
Right.
has been really helpful for me. Cause I used to work in the middle of my living room. And that was not conducive to a good work-life balance. But I can't say that I haven't had periods of burnout. I will say that I have, just life, like life happens. You've got the stresses of life, and then you've got a business that you're trying to run, and you've got the pressure of that because it's providing income for your family, and it's just, kind of goes around in circles with that. But yeah, I mean, just because you have a season of burnout doesn't mean it's bad though. I mean, it's just life.
Yeah. I think it's life. I think it's life as women and moms. I think it's life
Yeah.
as business owners, right? Like there will be periods of time where things are a little more intense than others.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you can do the things, the healthy things, like if you can spare the space, creating an office for yourself versus working in the main space, like
Yeah.
you can do those things. And I think burnout can't be 100% avoided, but I think you can do things to sort of buffer against it as much as possible.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah. And
Yeah.
one thing for me too is I like to, even though I love my work and I love the creative process and all of that, I do try to take like a few weeks off a year for vacation,
Mm,
and just like really step away and really step away. Like,
yeah.
I may bring my laptop just in case something
Right.
catastrophic happens, but like I really try to not open it, like
Yeah.
things like that, and just to like give your brain a break. It
It's
needs
true. It's true. And I think as creative people, that's something that's needed too, right? Like you need
it.
that time. I don't know what it is, but like to just refresh, right? Like
Yeah.
to fill back up after pouring so much out creatively.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. So if someone is sort of listening and they're wondering if they can, so if they're in a place of, let's say they're doing client work, so done for you, one-to-one sort of thing, and they want to make the leap to like more like digital products or like create it once and sell it again and again, like what would your advice be for them in that sort of situation?
To take action. I
Yeah.
know, but that's so easy. But
Well, it's so easy to say. It's not
it's so easy to
necessarily.
say. Yes, that's what I meant to say.
Yeah.
Um, Really, it's deciding what it is you want to create. Obviously, that's step one, and then taking action.
Mm,
And I think even in that step one is really difficult because if you're a creative, you've got a million ideas bouncing around in your head, and
yeah.
so it's try to narrow in to a couple of ideas and maybe pass it by your audience or pass it by
Mm,
somebody else who might be in your audience, and just kind of um, get a third party opinion. Sometimes we're so close to it, it's really hard for us to make that decision on our own, right?
yeah.
So post in a Facebook group, like whatever you have to do to kind of get some outside opinions, and then once you've decided that you're going to do that thing, then to like literally just start putting one foot in front of the other. And the reason I said that as my first thing is at 17 years in business, that is one thing that I see that is very common is people kind of start walking through it and then they burn out, or they don't know how to do X, Y, or Z, and they just kind of throw their hands up and give up. And so taking action and like literally being determined to see it all the way through is really key.
It's,
And
yeah.
and if you don't do that, you'll never see what the potential could have been.
It's true. It's true because there are so many ideas and there are so many directions we could go. And I
Yeah.
think that point of asking your audience or asking a similar audience if you don't have one yet
Yeah.
or whatever, like it's social media and like email makes it so easy now. You can like put out a Google form for a survey, or you can put a
Yeah.
simple like one or two question thing in a Facebook group, or on Instagram, right? So it's so easy to get that feedback on something to say, hey, would you rather this? Would you rather that? Or what's your biggest issue right now? How can like what would be your biggest
Yeah.
solution, like, right, like what are you struggling most with or whatever. I think that's really key. And then yeah, taking action, because we can all sit there and go, I have this giant list of ideas or this notebook full of ideas, and it's almost paralyzing to go, I don't know what, like, even if you get the feedback, you have to take action on that, right? Like
Yeah.
nothing happens if you don't
If you
actually
don't,
take
yeah.
action.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Just to give another example or piece of advice too, like
Mm.
if you're interested in doing something in a certain field, and just as you're going through the internet and researching it, you're landing on people's websites and whatever, pay attention to your Facebook ads as you're scrolling on Facebook.
Mm.
I have a folder on my phone of screenshots of Facebook ads that just it tells me, okay, if someone is willing to pay money to run a Facebook ad, then this must be a verified good idea.
Right.
Right. So
Yeah.
anything like that is super helpful, and just helping you come up with ideas or confirming and verifying to you that it is something that is worthwhile and good. And then
Yeah.
don't let imposter syndrome like come into play there, obviously,
Yes.
because a lot of people go, oh, well, so and so is doing it. Well, there's room for more than one person, right?
Yeah, because people will identify with you versus someone else, right? Like there could be 50 people teaching, for example, Facebook ads,
Yeah.
and you could really like someone's personality or how they teach it and not someone else's or
Yeah.
whatever, right?
Yeah.
And I think I lost what I was going to say. Anyway,
Yeah, no, you're good.
Yay, perimenopause. Yeah, so I think that's a really good tip to look at Facebook ads because that's what's going to come up, right? Is
Yeah.
what you're looking at.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
just nowadays, you just talk about it with your friend, and like 5 minutes later, you're going to see an ad about it. So
You were thinking about this? What? Here you go.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so if you could, we sort of covered this. I'm curious if it's the same thing. If you could go back and give yourself one piece of advice while you're still doing custom websites, what would it be? Is there anything you would have done differently, or obviously you're good with how things turned out, but
Yeah, I mean, I can't. Nothing like came to mind like when you asked that, but I maybe just to have started themes sooner. That would have been nice. But I still do custom work just because I do enjoy the custom like design process of that. I'm just very limited on the projects I take. But yeah,
that's fair. No, that's fair. Okay, so that's all the formal questions I had. Just for fun, sort of, what's your go-to drink while you're working? Coffee, tea, Diet Coke? I don't know.
Normally it's a Coke Zero.
Okay.
Or I like the little, I think they're called ice sparkling drinks. They're like flavored sparkling drinks.
Yeah. We have a gazillion different kinds of those up here. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. No, and we have one of those Sonic ice machines. So I like always have, I always have my cup and no straw because I have to eat the ice while I'm drinking whatever.
That's awesome. I love that. Is there anything else you wanted to share with everybody, or
I think we're good. Yeah, you've asked some great questions. So I hope we covered a lot and encouraged a bunch of people.
Yeah, I hope so too. Thank you so much for coming on today. I love that you had, I don't know, you've got 17 years of experience. So I love that you were willing to share some of that. So thank you for coming on the show.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. That's it for today on The Shannon Atchison Show. If you found this helpful, follow the show and share it with a friend. And hey, if you're not sure what kind of business actually fits your life, take the free quiz at shannonatchison.com. It'll point you in the right direction. Thanks for listening. Talk again soon.